Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Divine Allegiance and I'm your host Maulana Baig. I welcome you to the show and we are discussing many things and talking about many things. Today I want to get to many things also. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you who have joined in. It is a pleasure having you with us on this show and listening. This show is about where knowledge meets reality. You want scholarly knowledge and that it's real and in real time. And that's what we want to get to you on this show. And you can email us at divineallegiance12@gmail.com. That's number 12 after divineallegiance@gmail.com. And you can also see us at divineallegiance.com. And let me show you here. You can follow us on Twitter at Divine Allegiance, and you can follow us on Instagram at Divine Allegiance 12. So on YouTube also we are at Divine Allegiance. That's a channel. Please subscribe to it. That will help us a lot, and we will be with you, and we'll be sharing this. And we truly want to make sure that this show can be something that everyone, whether you are an adult or you are young, a youth or a child, everyone in the family can use and can truly benefit from and enjoy. Well, let's get to it right away. I want to talk about something that's happening nowadays. And by nowadays, I mean because of this virus that's going around and people being isolated. A lot of things have been happening. A lot of useful information is out there. A lot of good things are out there. And we mentioned some of these things in the previous days as we are going through this all together. And as this useful information comes out, you see some misinformation is also out there. You might have heard this on WhatsApp. It's being shared by people. And I want to get to that because a lot of times when you look at misinformation or disinformation or just wrong things that are being said, what it does is that it distracts people from what is real and gives them a false hope that they can go through this with some of this information that's being given out there. And truly what happens is that people, they put a lot of efforts in trying to do those things, and when they see that they have been misled, it leads to a lot of traumatizing experiences when it comes to faith. And I want to address these issues as I go through them, because when it comes to signs of Allah, whether those signs are in His creation or in His actions, when Allah does something to us or He gives something to us, or He brings about a fate or a destiny or a disaster or a calamity, whenever Allah does something, He has encouraged us to look at it through our intellect. And when you read the Quran, you will see that Allah uses certain words, and He says that if you want to look at these signs, then look at these signs through this lens. And it's usually the lens of intellect, of reasoning, of logic. And that's how He always mentions it. For example, words like tafakkur. Tafakkur from the root word fikr, which means to think, and tafakkur means to extrapolate. Extrapolate, meaning the actual definition of tafakkur, is to put the things that you know and you have the knowledge of, put them together to find something that is unknown. It's a sort of extrapolation, usage of your intellect in order to find something new. Allah says that The signs of Allah are meant for people who do this. Or for example, another word Allah uses is tadabbur. Tadabbur means to contemplate, to look at something deeply so you can find the consequence of that thing, or see where it's leading to, where it might be headed to. And this is what it means. So when you look at something of a sign of Allah, then it means that you're looking at something that is deep and looking where this is going. Another usage of intellect. Or Allah uses another word called ta'akkul, from the word aql, to intellectualize. But the actual meaning of that is logical thinking. To make sure that the basis of what you are doing, tafakkur or tadabbur, is based on sound proofs, is based on rational proof, not some sort of baseless things that you have ideas of or hope of, but actually where you can actually think and say that, yes, I think this is right, I think this is wrong, as opposed to I feel this is right or I feel this is wrong. What we see amongst a lot of people nowadays, and especially in the world of gossip that we are living today, where the means of gossip is channels like WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and all of these things, this gossip leads to people feeling instead of thinking, because there's no room for thinking, because there's no actual reading, there is no actual knowledge, there is no actual reference. It is something that's out there and you have a hunch or you feel that this is right, and hence you feel good about it or you feel right about it, but it's not about you think that it is good. And such a sort of method in life leads us to create a way where we just now are believing in things that are substandard or there is no basis for it, and we accept them as truths, which leads to a faulty faith, and our faith becomes truly mixed up and unable to stand in the face of calamities. Usually such a faith and such ideology breaks down. But Allah encouraged us that do not be like that. You want to use the intellect that I gave you, the aql that I gave you, use that. Don't just try to hope that you're doing the right thing. Try to find out. Try to find the reasoning behind things. Try to look at the deeper picture of what's happening. In the situation that we're in right now, instead of us trying to look at the real picture and trying to do and see the deeper idea behind Allah's signs in what Allah is making us go through, what do? We end up trying to make a superstitious ideology or follow superstitious things. Anything, unfortunately, this is the way it happens. For a lot of people, what they do is that they want to find something to hold on to. Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. They have something to hold on to and do. You might have seen such people. So what should we do at this time? What should we do at this time? Don't worry about what you should do. Try to think what's happening first, so you can appreciate what you're going through. And then you will see what you need to be doing. And when you know and find out what you should be doing, you will truly appreciate doing it. But a lot of times, people just want to have simple answers. They want to be spoon-fed, and they just want someone to give them something that will make them go through and waste their time. They're not thinking it's a waste of time. They really give credence to it. But it's really not true. It's not good for us to do that. So a lot of things do happen in these situations. Because when you look at things happening, for example, the virus that's happening right now, and the scare from the virus, whether it is made up or not, it's a whole different story. The fact is that there have been a lot of people infected by this, and a lot of people have died because of this. So it is truly real, and it's out there, and it's a scare. And we should be now looking at that and saying, what do we do and what should we be thinking at this time? What information should we be taking in and what information we should be blocking out? Some things that I see that's happening, and I've seen it on different groups in WhatsApp, people post things, and now where it comes from is one thing. But when you post something that is irrational and illogical, or something that is superstition, or something that is bad, then you're responsible for it also. Everyone should get it in their mind. That person who forwards this in any group must be told that, listen, not only is the person who said it is wrong, or from whom this comes from, but also you for forwarding it. Why are you wasting the time of believers by forwarding things that truly are going to waste their time? Either way, whether they believe it or not, they're just wasting time, and hence they're also responsible for disseminating misinformation. Superstition has been around since the beginning of man. People, they give a lot of credibility and they give a lot of credence to things that are easily available, and they try to give reason where there is no reason or where the wrong reason exists. They just hold on to that. For example, to say that, oh, this happened because you are a bad person. If you, for example, have a loss or financial, maybe you did something wrong. No, maybe that's not at all the case. Why are you trying to give a reason for that? And it happens in many of our own interactions and relationships. A lot of relationship problems or a lot of things ignorant people go through. For example, if someone gets married and loses their business, they blame the spouse. Oh, you came in and you brought me bad luck. Well, such things truly, when you start to give importance or credence to such things, this is where superstitious beliefs become important or for you in your faith. And it is a beginning, it is the beginning of you doing wrong things. Now, I want to say some things in regards to superstitions from the Prophet and from Islam and from Hadith. I have some Hadiths here which talk about lucky charms or bad luck charms or such sort of things. What is good and what is bad? But one thing you have to understand, right, that bad luck and good luck has nothing to do with what's happening in reality. There is no such thing as this is bad luck for you or good luck for you. There is no logical, rational, or natural relationship between what actually happens and a lucky charm or a bad luck. There is no relationship. People give it a relationship, but there is no such thing. So, but on the only place where, for example, charms come, or these sort of amulets that we wear on all these things, they come to help you, is more of a psychological thing. For example, if someone sees that this is my lucky coin, it just gives him a psychological advantage of thinking that he's lucky, so that psychological idea that he will build his hope and will motivate him to do things. But what's happening and what he gets out of it has nothing to do with that lucky coin or that lucky charm. It really is something else. Now, this is on the positive side. On the negative side, there's the bad luck charm. When someone has, for example, things that he has bad luck, now what it does to him is that it demotivates him. It makes him feel that he's unable to do things because he cannot get the result. And it leads to negative energy in him. So now, this is one of the reasons that because there is a psychological advantage in lucky charms or good luck charms, you see that Islam did not prohibit good luck charms. But bad luck or bad omens, and to allude or give any importance to that, has been prohibited in Islam because it brings about nothing, and the only thing that it brings about is negative energy, and it makes you negative, and it demotivates you. It takes away your inspiration. It takes away your motivation. So when we look at it, we see that in regards to positive lucky charms, only because, not because it's the real reason why it's happening, but because it gives a person just a psychological hope in his mind only. Even if it's in mind, it's good. He can go through some things thinking that he has luck behind him. There's a hadith from the Prophet. He says, "Tafalu bil khair." Take out a lucky charm when it comes to good things, tajiduhu, and the motivation you get out of it will help you find it. Find what you're looking for. If you feel that this is your lucky coin and you are going about it, he didn't stop anyone. Go on. Why? Well, you might find it. But when you find it, it's not because of that charm or that coin or whatever lucky thing that you have there. It's because of reality. That's Allah, and that's where it's coming from. But, it motivates you to do things. And an example of this, for example, I found in the incident of Hudaibiya. As you know, that Hudaibiya was when the Muslims under the Prophet's leadership had gone to Mecca to do Umrah, and they were stopped by the Meccans, and there was a treaty that was made between the Meccans, who were kuffar and infidels, and the Muslims. There was a treaty that was made, and in that treaty, when the person who came on behalf of the Meccans, he announced his name as Suhail ibn Amr. Now, Suhail means easy. Suhail means easy, and so when the Prophet heard his name, that this person has come, so he said, by hearing his name and what it means, he said, قَدْ سَهَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ وَأَمْرَكُمْ. He says that meaning your job has become easy. Our job has become easy because of this person. I see from his person, I can allude that our job has become easy. Allah has made it easy for us, and he alluded that from that, looking at it as a good omen. Looking at it as not luck, but a good sign. A sign that positive things are going to happen. So you see that it wasn't something that the Prophet stayed away from. But the opposite side is what we are talking about. Bad luck charms. When you look at the bad luck charm and bad things that happen, there you see that there is a strict forbiddance from Islam. A prohibition from Islam to not to engage in that. And for example, Allah speaks about it in the ayat of the Quran also, when he says in تَطَيَّرْنَا بِكُمْ. That we see a good omen, we see a bad omen with you. We have put this bad omen with you. And in many other places it has come down of this. This at-tayr is a bad omen, a bad luck. And hence, when you look at that, you will see that this sort of wishing bad luck or thinking that you have bad luck has been made haram, and it's something that we are not allowed to engage in, because there is no help in that at all. The positive side, lucky charm, gives you a motivation, a hope, but the bad luck doesn't give you anything. It only gives you a negative energy. All right, let me read some hadith for you regarding bad omens. And this hadith comes from the Prophet. He says, "Laysa minna man tatayyara wala man tatayyara lahu." He goes on. It says that a person who engages in bad lucks and bad omens is not from us, meaning that he is not a part of Muslims. He is not a Muslim. And a person who takes astrology and gives importance to that is not from us. And a person who does magic or believes in magic or engages in magic is not from us. Because such things, they take away from us one of the most important distinguishing factor that makes us a human being, and that is our intellect, our reasoning, our ability for critical thinking. It takes that away from us, and it makes us give importance to things that are not real, things that are unreal or have no basis. One thing is not the reason for another. That has to be found out through reasoning and through logic and through rationale. That is something else, and that's why you see that Rasulullah is clearly saying that anyone who engages in these things, whether it is astrology, whether it is magic, or whether it is bad lucks, is not a part of our people. It cannot be. A mu'min, a believer, has certain signs, and this is not one of them. And also, for example, we see, but it's not, and one of the reasons that it is made haram is because of the fact that it's so difficult to stay away from it. It's so difficult to stay out of it and to be affected by it, because certain things affect you and you can't get rid of that from your mind. It's like, for example, if you play the lotto, and if you give $1 and get a ticket from the lotto, you will see that that lotto ticket raises hopes in you, creates these hopes in you, and false hopes, and makes you give importance to that until obviously the numbers don't come, and then you go back to being normal. But it's like, for example, being in a state of deliriousness or being intoxicated, and then you come back to reality. It's the same thing with these things, with sort of magic, with sort of superstitions. We give importance to things that take away important time, energy from us, and when it's finished, then we come back to it. We wasted all that time that we could have been doing something useful and better and beneficial for us. That's why when we read this hadith I have from the Prophet, it's interesting. It says the three people who are, the three things that no one is safe from. Again, there are three things no one is safe from. What is that? Superstition, envy, and doubt. Superstition, envy, and doubt. Three things. You cannot be safe from it. When you have superstition, when you have envy, for example, envy, you will see that it is bothering you. When you are jealous of someone, envy of someone, it will just bother you. It will occupy your mind all the time. You cannot get rid of that object of envy from you. It will just occupy everything. It will not it will prevent you from doing anything useful. Or for example, doubt. When you have a doubt, you see that doubt just eats you up. It just makes you, not think, and really takes you on a ride, which is just wasting your time. And the same thing is with superstition. When you engage in superstition or superstitious belief or actions, then this is what you get. So when it comes to superstition, we just need to disregard these things. Just ignore it, delete them, don't even read them. It's not important. Truly give importance to things that are going to make us look at the signs of Allah in a much deeper and more meaningful manner. In whatever is happening right now, I have seen certain things, certain of these sort of illusions that come. And truly, it is not just funny, but it's ridiculous. And we have seen this many times before. For example, I remember there was a time when you had chain emails going forward. In the time when there was no Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, we used to have emails. Youngsters don't remember that anymore. But yes, there was a time when emails is how we used to communicate. And so in those emails, we used to have chain emails that certain people will send and say that if you don't forward this to 10 people, then the wrath of Bibi Fatima is going to get you. And simple-minded, naive people will forward those emails to 10 people. And when you see these emails that would come, you're like, why are you doing that? Well, because we are afraid that Bibi Fatima will get angry at us. And the idea behind it is that, who do you think Bibi Fatima is? Do you really think that she would be someone who would get upset and angry at ludicrous things like this? Do you think that she plays games like this? Really, what do we think about her? What do we think about Ahlul Bayt? What do we think about Allah? It really goes back to the fundamentals of our faith. And see that, is this what they're about? No, it's not. So let's not create such things. And nowadays, I've seen in WhatsApp, for example, where it actually says that you take a cotton ball and you dip it in some sort of oil, and you put that where the sun don't shine. And really, is that a cure for this disease? I mean, it has misled people, maybe to do that. But the fact is that this is the sort of tactics or the snake oil salesman that we need to be avoiding. True scholars, and I mentioned this the last 2 days, and you can go there and see my show. True scholars, Ayatollah Sistani, and others like that, you will see, are trying to help us engage our intellect and our minds and our hearts to actually focus on the things that are important. Things that are really important and what we must be looking at. But what happens is that then you have these sort of people who come about, like charlatans, and swindlers. And these people who will bring about these hocus pocus ideas, these magic ideas that, this is how it's going to happen. Yeah, you can put some oil, you can use this, you can use eggs, you can use garlic. No, that's for vampires, but still, this is where it belongs. When you hear such things, Allah has sent His signs so that we can learn from it, that we can be tested by it, that we can grow from it as a person, as a human being. This situation we are going through is a serious one. This problem that the whole world is going through is a serious one. It is a sign of Allah that has to be noted, that has to be acknowledged, that has to be looked into, and that has to be thought about deeply. It is something where we are going to learn wisdom from. It is an occasion of a great opportunity for all of mankind. And for us to learn from, truly, with a small little bug that is so microscopic in its size, it has brought the superpowers of the world with so much arrogance. It has brought all of them to their knees. In one little reflection, Allah shows His power. Allah shows His ability. It's not His full ability. It's just a small microscopic bug. And it has brought everyone, all of mankind, to its knees. It is a sign that Allah is showing us so that we can reflect, we can start to bring that light into our hearts. And this is the time to do that. And whenever you see these snake handlers and these so-called swindlers come in the name of Islam and give you these hocus pocus, magical, wonderful ideas that truly have no basis, then we just need to do what the Prophet had asked us to do. Ignore it, disregard it, because it's not going anywhere. We want to make sure that when we are here in this situation, do something that's useful. This is the time for you to build relationship with your loved ones, with your family, to learn together, to be together, to learn about yourself, to learn about those who are around you, to truly spend this time in the best way possible. That after this whole episode is over, we are going to come out of it as a stronger people, as a better people. That's truly where we should be focused. And that's what I pray for. Truly, I pray for this. I pray that all of you keep well and stay well. And truly in the time of difficulties that we are going through, and there will be a lot more difficulties to come ahead also. But truly, avoid those sort of things and try to focus on the right things that true scholars are talking about and wanting us to focus on. Talk about those things, focus on those things, contemplate on those things. That's important for us. Truly, I thank you for being with me in this time, and we will be there every day at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please join us every day. We're going to be uploading our show. You can write to us also at divineallegiance12@gmail.com. You can also watch us on YouTube for our past programs at Divine Allegiance. That's our channel. And if you are watching, do subscribe to it and like us on Twitter and other places. We are so happy to have you here, and we will see you again tomorrow. And so thank you. I am your host, Maulana Baig, and I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.